button we're going to use, you will see something on your calculator that says in blue, E. This should sound similar to what we did yesterday. This stands for times 10 to the blah, okay? That's what we're going to use. So we're going to type scientific notation in your calculator. So when we type this in our calculator, here's what it's going to look like. 1.2 E5, because it's 1.2 times 10 to the 5th, plus 5.35 E6. So the calculator said it was this. Wait, what was it?
It was 4 zeros.
Oh gosh. Okay, 5470000. This is not in scientific notation. It specifically says write your sum in scientific notation. This is the most common mistake that I see on these problems, is not reading the directions. So take your decimal and move it to the left, because that's where the party's at, until the number is between 1 and 10 when you read it from left to right. So 5.47 times 10 to the...
6.
Yep. Positive 6. Because it was a big number to start.
Doesn't that imply if we just say 6?
Yes. Next one. Just before we type it in, we're going to write it down. 6.91 E negative 2 plus 2.4 E negative 3. Let's go to our calculator. When I subtracted these two, what'd you get?
351.
Which is not in scientific notation, so you need to change it. Decimal's over here, move it. So this is actually 3 and 51 thousandths, no, hundredths, whoops, times 10 to the positive 2. Neat. The second one, you should have typed this in. Would someone please raise your hand? Tell me what that would be when you type it in your calculator. What answer do you get? 7.62 E negative 5. Colby, could you please translate that into actual scientific notation, real person form?
7.63 times 10 to the power of 9.
Thank you. Make sure, I do not want to see E's in your answer. You're not a calculator, you're human. So write it down like a human.
The area of the former USSR, which is 8.649 times 10 to the 6th, and then subtract 4.797 to the times 10 to the power of 6.
Awesome.
So that you'll find Canada's
Okay.
area.
Because it says less, you need to subtract. Less is a subtraction word. Would you please type it in your calculator if you have not already?
852.
Okay.
Wait, do
I'm
you
going to way before all of
in
you.
the scientific notation or do
Yeah, leave it in terms of scientific notation. So 3.852 times 10 to the 6th. Next one. The population of Mathville is 5.6 times 10 to the 3rd people. The population of Algeville is 1.3 times 10 to the 4th. I know. How many more people are there in Algeville than Mathville? Discuss what you should do with your partner. So I know the wording in the problem should clue you into that, but in case you missed it, 1.3 times 10 to the 4th is in fact greater than 5.6 times 10 to the 3rd, because if you were to actually move these into standard form, you'd move 1.3 4 times. And so it's going to have an extra 0, which means it has an extra place value, which makes it a bigger number. When you have this in negative exponents, same thing applies. The one that's less negative is going to be bigger. Okay, so how many more people are there in Algebra than Mathville? You should be subtracting. Pierre, what'd you get?
7,400.
Okay. You got this? Is that what you're saying? Okay, and then we move the decimal. DJ, what would that be in scientific notation?
7.4 times 10 to the power of 3.
Yep. Good deal. Okay, one more thing to learn today.
Oh my god. I want to go over the word show on the front at all. Look at this.
I'm going to leave it there. If you want to learn it, you can. Okay. Adelaide, what do I do with my coefficients in front? Just multiply them up. So 3.4 times 2. Yes, thank you. You should be able to do that in your head. And then our exponents here, 5 and negative 2. Julian, what should we do with those? Add them. So times 10 to the third. It's already in scientific notation. Done. Next. Keely, what do I do with the coefficients out in front?
Multiply.
Yeah, multiply them up. Just like we would in an exponential expression problem, because that's what this is. 9 times 5.5 would give me what, Catherine? What? 49.5. Good deal. You guys agree? Okay. Times 10 to the Tala, what do I do with my exponents? Yep, add them up. So 11. Now look at it. Is that in scientific notation? Nope. First number is not between 1 and 10, so move the decimal 1 to the left and bump it up. Yep. 10 to the 12th, because you would have to move it one more spot back to the right. Ooh, this is a good one. This is power to a power. Sarah, what do I do with my exponents when I have power to a power? Yep, so 1.5 has a power of 1. You're going to distribute that exponent. 1.5 to the 4th times 10 to the negative 8th.
5.0625. Yeah.
Now you need to go and figure out what is 1.5 raised to the 4th. Remember, you can use the caret key. Those are all significant digits because it doesn't just start going 0, 0, 0, 0. Times 10 to the negative 8th. Is that in scientific notation? Yay, done. Okay. Next one. Also power to a power. Guys, when I have power to a power, what do I do with my exponents? That was weak. You say multiply. Okay, we're going to do it again. When I have power to a power, what do I do with my exponents?
Multiply.
Thank you. Distribute, multiply here. 2 to the 4th times 10 to the 12th. 2 to the 4th, don't type it in your calculator. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So 2 to the 4th is 16 because it's 2 multiplied 4 times. Is this in scientific notation?
Nope.
Definitely not. We have to take our decimal and move it to the left. And again, bump it up 1. 10 to the 13th. Ooh, okay. Don't get freaked out. It's just division. We're going to treat it the same way. Think about what we've been doing with exponential expressions because that's what this is. Y'all, what do I do? Raise your hand. Actually, no. Turn to your partner. What should I do with my coefficients in front here? Elizabeth, what should I do with those?
Simplify them into the easiest fraction.
Right. Which is what we do for an exponential expression. Since this is scientific notation, we're just going to go ahead and divide completely. So it might get you a decimal answer, but that's okay for this because it's scientific notation. But we are simplifying. So go ahead and divide those. Nice, my calculator. What'd you get?
1.3 times 10 to the negative second.
Okay. How'd you get negative 2?
Because I subtracted 4 minus 6.
Yeah, same base, division, subtract your exponents. So 4 minus 2 would be 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So this is scientific notation stuff. Don't try and move 10 to the negative second down to the bottom. If you're dealing with scientific notation, this is a great answer. Don't try and change it. Last one, right here. Do that on your own. Divide these. Xander, what'd you get?
I got 0.7 times 10 to the negative 2, which is not in scientific notation, so you would change it to 7 times 10 to the negative 3.
Yeah, okay, so this one, 7 times 10 to the, because you're moving it one more place to the right this time, you'd have to think, okay, if I want to move it back, I'd have to move it to the left. So you're going to subtract one more. So negative 3. Either way, you're like bumping it up, right? Okay, Colby, can you give me one pair of scientific notation numbers?
2 times 10 to the power of 3 and 2 times 10 to the power of 3.
Yep, because if you multiply the coefficients, you get 4. If you add the exponents, you get 6. Raise your hand if you got another one. Emma, go.
4 times 10 to the 3. And 1 times 10 to the 3.
That works. Anybody got a different one? I'm going to take one more. Aaron, go.
4 times 10 to the power of 0 and 1 times 10 to the power of 6.
That works. Okay, so you get the point. The coefficients have to multiply to get 4. The exponents have to add to be 6. Notice right now they are not the same exponent. That's okay. When it comes to multiplication and division, you can do this by hand pretty easily. By hand, I mean you don't have to use the E button in your calculator. So this is just an exponential expression. We've been doing exponents for the past week. What do I do? Would someone please tell me what do I do with the coefficients in front? I'm talking about these. What do I do with those, Suffolk? Okay, would you go ahead and just multiply those? 1.4 and 8.2, multiply them. You get 11.48. So we're going to write that down, just like we would when we were doing an exponential expression. And then, do you see how you have the same base in multiplication? Then what do you do with your exponents? Add. So times 10 to the 9th. The only problem here is that it's not in scientific notation. And so you need to go ahead and move that exponent, or move that decimal one place to the left. So the final answer would be 1.148 times 10 to the 10th, because you'd have to move it one more spot back to the right. So I think this is really valuable.